wheel, the pots come up asymmetrical by themselves. And I actually, these seem to be, I get a higher percentage of pots that I like with this wheel because it seems it's the process doing it itself. I mean, so as soon as you put your hands on it, it stops. So I don't even center it actually. Tiring? Well, for small pieces, I would never throw more than 3 pounds on this. This is just 1.5 pounds. See, it's that stopping and fast to slow that makes it, it'll give it its asymmetry. Axner. I don't know if they make it. There's this guy who made them, and Axner bought them from him. And I don't know if they still make them. I mean, it was $75. You see the wheels putting it in itself, the asymmetry. So I'm trying to throw symmetrically, but I'm not moving my hands like I did on the other one. And the lip, I love that the lip is uneven. I can't get that on the electric wheel. This one has it. No, it's okay. So it's pretty subtle, the asymmetry, but I like it. When I first started doing this, I would, the asymmetry was too exaggerated. And the more I do this, the more I like when the movement is subtle. I'm trying to make my plates asymmetrical. So I throw a plate, and I'm trying to come up with a move to make it asymmetrical. And I wedge up 8 plates, and I would just destroy 8 plates. Just nothing's working. For 4 or 5 years, I try 8 plates once every 4 months, and I couldn't figure out a move. I couldn't get the move. And it's been like 5 years, I just, some forms I'm just giving up on. Some forms don't want to be asymmetrical. So I say, I can't do plates. And I'm driving in the car, and in a flash, in a millisecond, I see the whole process of how to make a plate. And this is what I saw in my head in a millisecond. Make a ball. And then it worked exactly like I saw it in my head. That's only happened once or twice. Then I'm going to throw it and distort it. So it's not a circle anymore. Okay. So that's not a circle. Now put this on the wheel and center it like a pot. Like any pot you're going to center. That's pretty close. And then now just throw this like you would throw a plate. No, it's going to feel whoppity, but you fight through it. So I open up plates with my fist, getting a curve in it. So then I just stick my thumb or my finger underneath there, and I push in about, an inch or something. I mean, the thing is, if you made that Oreo cookie and put it on here, and you threw a plate, it would be perfectly centered. I mean, this is almost perfectly centered. I tried and you saw what I put on here. So I made Oreo cookies perfectly, and then I can't even, they look like I centered it. So it saves you a lot. I would just make plates like that, actually. If you want a symmetrical plate, just make that Oreo cookie. I mean, it saves all that centering and pushing down. Price of the workshop.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Again, do that thing where you make that curve in the plate. It's so important to get a nice curve. Again, I'm always working on that curve. Yeah, see, it's subtly asymmetrical. I mean, I just love it being off a little bit. It's really, I just really like it.
And if you don't want to buy,
Yeah, that's a good one. I really like that.
So the first time you did it before?
Yeah, worked. Yeah, the first time, that's exactly what I wanted in my head, and it came out that way the first time. But it's weird how I just saw the whole thing, make a wedge-it ball cookie and then stretch it and then send. It was all there.
How many pounds of clay was that?
That was 4. So that I liked, when this shrinks, it's a smallish dinner plate, but I kind of like them this size. So here's another way to make an asymmetrical plate. This actually, does anybody know Maish Dickman?
Yes.
Yeah. So I've known Maish since '73, and he taught me this. So.
He built our table.
Yeah, yeah. So Maish gets credit for this one. Wait, what's that? Oh, that's right. So, this is 5.5 pounds, and it's going to wind up the size of the 4-pound plate. So if you want a 5-pound plate, make this 6.5 pounds, because you're going to cut off 1.5 pounds. For this one, I don't flatten it out. Let's see, how do I haven't made these in years. Because I don't want, I can do a raised foot on these plates, so I'm not going to flatten it all the way out.
Is that a mud tool as well?
Yeah. Have you seen those?
No.
Yeah, I really like
Just,
them. It's like a little,
yeah.
it's like a shark or something. And it
Right.
folds. Yeah, they're pretty slick.
So you leave about 3/4 of an inch?
Yeah. It's always better to have too much, clay than not, than not enough at the bottom. Again, you see me putting in that curve, right away. I can't stress that enough in bowls and plates to have that nice curve, compressing it. Okay, so you want to do one little baby pull. No. So the whole thing is as thick as the lip. So you can cut, I'm going to cut this now. You can make, if I was to do a triangle, I would do this. If I was to make a triangle plate, or I could make, six, you can make 6 of them. So, wait, like that. So it'd be 6 for 8 sides. I'm going to make 4. So I'll put a line in for 12, 6, 3, and 9. Rough. And this takes a little bit of practice. You just have to be confident. Get the wheel going slow. You're going to cut an arch. So I'll soften these edges a little bit. Now when you throw this, again, so now just continue throwing like it's a normal thing, and when you feel it bump, just fight through it. Don't worry about it, just fight it. And a lot of people will make square plates, but they'll throw it till it's done, and then they'll cut it. And so the edge is the same thickness, right? Now, there's this word I hear artists talk about, drawers, they talk about line quality. And like if you take a piece of chalk and you'll put it on its tip and then you put it on its side and then on its tip side. So you have thick, thin, thick, thin. That's line quality, not just if you took a piece of chalk and went like that, it's just that one thickness. It's much nicer to have it's more sculptural, have thick to thin. And that's, and all that's going to, you know, again, it's basically that it's like straight lines right now, a little bit of a curve. But again, it's the process transformed this into this incredible thing, and it's just a process doing it. So it gets bumpy, just fight through it. But I mean, you have these, yeah. I mean, they're all different. You know, you don't want the 12 and the 6. I just roughed it out. Do it fast because you don't want them all the same. You want them a little different. And so it's again that thick to thin to thick, and then each line is different, and so they're all interacting. And the way the glaze breaks on this, so I'm just softening that up a little bit. So again, you can make, you know, do it in 3, you know, try all different demarcations of how you're cutting it. So I'm just, you know, pushing it down. Okay, then have you ever seen anybody put spirals into their pieces? It's pretty common. And spirals, you know, they're microcosm, macrocosm. There's spiral galaxies, and there's spirals microcosmically. I mean, they're all over in nature. I mean, spirals are everywhere. So we're going to be drawn to that icon, that symbol. It's in our DNA, I think. Just like we're drawing the circles, I think, you know, you have the sun and the moon. I mean, we're looking at those circles all the time. And so if we see a circle in art, we're going to be drawn. We're going to like it. So I started putting spirals in, and you got to be careful when you're doing something like that. You know, it can be cliche because everybody's doing it. You don't want your work to look like everybody else's. But then again, if you do it, like I was going to say, oh, I'll put a couple of spirals in because I like them so much. They look so good. The glaze breaks on them. So I was putting these spirals into my pots. And I was doing it for a couple of years. I would use this tool, and you know, you'll see me do it. What I would do is I'd start here and I'd go down and I'd stop right here because if you get to the center, it kind of kicks back, you know, on itself. So, and I get these perfect spirals. You know, they look gorgeous. And one day, I was going like this, and I'm leaning here, and I slipped. And so the tool went here, and then it went back. And it looked gorgeous. You know, and that's the way I do it all the time, is I go here, and then I go back. So, and the lesson is sometimes, you know, when you make a mistake, look at it. It could be a new technique. A lot of the times a mistake is a mistake. You know, it looks bad, but look at it. Every mistake you make, look at it. Look at it with an open mind. Does this have any good aesthetic attribute to it? Yes, let me show you. That's why I love these. Hopefully it'll work every time. So that's not really a great one. It really didn't work that good. But a lot of the time what's happening is you'll get this, actually this kind of, you get these three lines that are pretty interesting. It's just something asymmetrical. Usually they're a lot nicer than this. Actually, it's not that bad. And then it's off center, which I like. With the spiral, it was just so perfect. It was nice, but it was perfect. So again, when you work asymmetrically, they all don't work. And so I'm not, I throw fairly quickly. So if I have to, if I throw 10 of these and 6 work, I don't mind throwing 4 out. I do charge a little more for my work because there's some loss, but to me it's worth it. I'm getting pots that are really unique in my own, and to me, if you get better pot, it's worth the loss.
So once you created the spiral, if you liked it or didn't, would you go back now and try it?
No, there's nothing I can really. Well, if I went back, it would just, see, it got really thin here, then it would just go through, and it would just look messy. The two clash, it's too many lines.
Trying to even it out again is almost
just it'd be faster to throw another
right.
one. No, I've tried to go over things, and it's never worked, not once has it worked. Going over whether it's a T-ball or anything.